The Ping i210 iron continues to win on major tours 8 years after its release, but is it actually better than the newest version, the i240? We put them to the test on Trackman here today and found one major stat that'll make a big impact on performance. Hey golfers, I'm Drew Mahowald, the Second Swing Golf, joined by Harrison Arnold here, Master Club Fitter. We're in the Tour van at Second Swing Minnetonka, and today we are highlighting an oldie but a goodie in the iron department, Ping i210, because as of filming this past weekend, Ping i210 had a really successful weekend. There was a bunch of wins on tour, and so we wanted to compare it to its newest version, the i240. So Harrison, talk me through these two irons and what you've seen from them in fittings.
Yeah, I mean, they've been a really popular iron. That is stuck around way longer than than anyone really thought it would have done, right? We had 3 wins on tour last weekend. Multiple tour players still play that iron to this day. So really, we want to kind of just compare the two and see what the big differences are and why they might not be wanting to switch into the newest i240. If you're looking at, from an aesthetics point of view, definitely a slightly thinner top line, kind of sole, I should say. That's what I'm thinking of. It's just a little bit slimmer. Whole package is just a little bit slimmer.
Yeah.
I think that does sort of give you a little bit more confidence looking down. But
yeah, I think it's just a larger build in general, the i210. I played i210 for several years, and I enjoyed how, it didn't feel like a cast iron, even though that's what it is, but it also plays really well you can shape the shots you need to, but it's also very forgiving. So I think we've got as close as we can as far as matching up the clubs in terms of shaft and in terms of lie angle. Both are going to be at the blue dot right now. I guess, do you have any anticipation for what you expect in this test, or are you just kind of, because the lofts are going to be the same too?
I gotta say, just knowing what we've seen from fittings this year, the i240 is just a little bit quicker off the face.
Okay.
One of the reasons that tour players may still play is just because this comes off a little bit deader. They can be able to control the distance a little bit more. Doesn't mean more ball speed doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but for people playing golf at high levels and high speeds, you might want a bit more reliability than and for it just to come out a little bit softer.
Yeah, I do know in terms of this category, i210 was always one that gave a little bit more spin as well.
Yeah.
So I'll be watching to see the spin rates, because I think, as our fitters noticed over the years, irons were spinning less, and so i210 was one they could go to make sure that spin was retained for players. So do you want to hit i210 first, or do you want to hit i240 first?
We'll go for the new one first.
Okay, let's do that. All right, first impression of i240, setting it down to the dress and hitting, one shot now.
Yeah, very square looking club, minimal offset on the thinner top line. I mean, it's the epitome of a player's distance iron, right?
Okay.
It's you're gonna. I mean, that last shot wasn't great, but didn't feel horrible on the face. Just feels like. Okay. I feel like if I was to hit that with more of a bladed style, I would have been punished a lot more. Still got 127 miles an hour ball speed out of that. I'd have to hit my 7-iron pretty good to achieve that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a better stroke.
Yeah, that's really good ball speed there.
More like it. So, yeah, a lot more ball speed than what I typically play, which is kind of what we were talking about to start with. This thing is a little bit quicker off the face than other previous models on this, because a few little things. They've moved some weight around the head, managed to bring some of that spin down. It's kind of the trend of all irons these days,
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be most curious here, because I know your spin rate with your gamers has been kind of around 6,000, right? And actually, this is spinning a decent amount after a couple swings here. So.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of thinned, but pretty interesting to see there, though. Didn't really lose only lost a couple miles an hour ball speed out of that, and only lost about 5-6 yards there.
Right,
So,
you lost a couple yards off your average.
if we're talking about players' distance irons, we want to make sure they're precise enough so you can kind of do what you need with them, but also when you're not hitting it, swinging it great, you can kind of get away with stuff, kind of like I just did there.
There's the impact application there. We're clearly below the center. We still got a really good result out of it. So.
Yeah, so if I was on the golf course and I've hit that shot, middle flag, I'm still getting on the front edge.
That's really good.
Not going to be happy with it, but it's not going to kill me around. There we go.
Oh yeah. See, that spin is staying up there, kind of in the mid 6,000s.
Yeah, that was a I mean, and I've always been a bit of a higher spinning player. That's why I try and play something that's pretty stiff to kind of, and play my irons a little bit strong to kind of bring some of that spin down. So not too surprised to kind of see the spin be a little bit higher. But yeah, overall, it's a really nice feeling iron. I feel like there's not as much pressure for me to hit out the middle. So all right, that's probably the best strike out of all of them.
All right, yeah,
but pretty really consistent. That spin rate really didn't change too much at all. And there was probably 3 different strikes there. I probably hit 2 or 3 pretty good, and then the other 2 were pretty poor strikes.
Yeah, I would say this one's probably your poor one.
Yeah, that was really my poor strike, but spin really didn't jump too much. I mean, if we was to exclude that one from the data, just to get an idea, really tight. Not really seeing only 129 deviation between that spin rate. It's pretty consistent.
Yeah, I think this is a very small and tight dispersion here. If I don't know if we can kind of clearly, demonstrate how zoomed in that dispersion image is right now, but it's again, the spin is just in that 6,300 range pretty consistently, 180 carry. The deviation numbers are all pretty tight there.
Yeah. So the one thing is to note there, so only swinging the golf club at 92.5 miles an hour there and getting 127 miles an hour ball speed, it's giving us a 1.38 for smash. So with 7-iron, we usually look for a 1.35 or somewhere around there as a kind of that magic number when we're looking at smash factor for a 7-iron.
Okay.
When we start to creep above that, and from a golf course performance point of view, you're going to start to see the ball just come off a little bit too quickly in certain situations. So getting a lot of ball speed there. If I was to hit that out the rough, a bit of grass gets in between the club.
Right.
That's probably jumping an extra couple miles an hour now. And that smash probably goes above 1.4. Well, for me, that's not going to do me any favors because that means the ball's going to be going an extra 4 or 5 yards further.
Right.
So there's a reason why I don't play a distance iron is for that reason there. I want to know how far my club's going, especially in the bottom half. Maybe I'll play a distance iron in the top half of the bag in the near future. But bottom half of the bag, like scoring clubs like 7-iron, you need to know how far that club's going. That's maybe one of the reasons why some tour players aren't putting them in the bag.
Well, let's get to the i210 here now, and we'll see what changes. Okay, so i210. Tell me what that looks like at address compared to i240. Is it bigger? Is it wider? What do you see?
Yeah, definitely a more rounded toe there, which is kind of that more traditional looking iron. I would say it even has a slight bit more offset, if anything.
Okay.
Nothing crazy. Top line is definitely slightly thicker than the i240 to my eye. But I think the biggest thing I'm noticing is kind of that more rounded toe section. I think when you think of thinking of like classic looking irons, you think that nice rounded toe,
Sure.
The Tiger, Nike irons, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But overall, kind of very similar product. I would just say there's a few sort of little tendencies in there.
You can tell it's a different club, but it's overall pretty similar.
Yeah, pretty similar.
I'll be watching that spin rate for sure. Okay. Already pretty low compared to the i240.
Yeah, that was a lot lower. Hence, ball's gone further too.
Okay, we're back over 6,000 with that one, but still lower. Now, I guess one thing I just thought of now, technically, because we have new fitting fitting components for i240, we only have used for i210, so there will be some kind of maybe some groove performance that is not identical, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think these ones that we got at the moment are rated average, but if I was looking at grooves on there, they're actually pretty good. So
yeah, I mean,
our average rating fits a big bucket, and I would say from a face point of view, they actually look pretty good.
Okay,
but definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be I don't know if there's a brand new set of i210 irons out there really. There probably is somewhere. But
if there is, I'm sure one of the tour players has them in their garage. Right?
Yeah, they got a
we had Matt Fitzpatrick
backup
win.
set or something. Yep.
Who we had Lynn Grant win.
Yep.
Who was the third one?
It was Adam Schenk.
Adam Schenk.
That was the PGA Tour had half of his set i210s.
Yep. Yeah, just overall, Drew, just a lot lower in spin.
Yeah, we're noticing a pretty significant difference.
We always talk about more spin is more control, right? But at the same time, if an iron's too high in spin, it's harder to control ball flights. You know, if we're playing on tour, we're playing in some windy conditions. If I've got an iron that's just spinning out really high, well, I'm going to have to do extra work to come bring that flight down with something that's already kind of, well, I mean, I wouldn't say this is high in spin. This is about right, you know, around about 6,000.
Yeah.
But it means like if I was to hit like a 3/4 shot now, I can really flight that thing down and kind of control that ball flight just a touch easier.
Yeah.
I would say these do feel really good though. I haven't hit an i210 in a few years, and
yeah, I mean they're still, you know, they're still winning tournaments at the highest level. So
yeah, I can see why people are still using this.
Let's see how many we got here. Was that 4? Okay, we got one more to hit here because we did 5 with the other one and took 4. So
yeah. All right, that didn't feel like a great strike, but great result.
Okay. So we've got dispersion here. I think we can almost just take that one out for the sake of doing 4 versus 4 best swings. And so we've got 4 of your best 5 with each club here, i210 versus i240. Trying to look. I mean, I did notice it's
not
interesting.
Not a lot between them, right?
I mean, your speeds were the exact same. Smash factor is the same. One thing I noticed that's maybe a little bit different is that your launch angle is actually higher with the i210, but the spin is lower. So I think overall we can conclude that i210 is a lower spinning iron, and that's probably the difference in distance by about 4 yards here. Is going to be your 3 yards is going to be your spin rate.
Yeah, basically the spin. But if you also look on the right side here, we're actually hitting the i210 higher. We're getting a touch more land angle too. So we're looking at performance benefits on the golf course. You're always going to opt for that one that spins that comes down a touch softer, goes a touch higher, because you know you're going to be able to control that, especially on tour when they're trying to get to tucked front right pins. Yeah. If you ever go to a PGA Tour event, you stood there on the edge of the fairways and go, how are they going to aim into that pin? And the ball just comes down really soft and pitch next to the flag. Well, they're kind of dialing these things in because they need to find a club that comes down a bit softer. So, this iron has been very popular at the top end of the bag for people. Well, from what we saw last week, everyone was kind of playing this 4, 5, 6 iron, maybe something a little bit more precision, maybe something like a Blueprint S or something for, I think that was Lindgren's bag or something. They were down 7 to pitching wedge, whatever it was. So, not too surprising. I think ball speeds were pretty much exactly the same.
But the speeds are about the same. So I think really to me, the big difference is the spin rate. To see the spin be that different, and again, i210 was an iron that our fitters loved because it provided spin, and so I think i240 is such a win too, because in this day and age when all these irons are getting stronger lofted and they're reducing spin, there still needs to be something out there that provides golfers with spin, with control, as you say. Yeah. And i240 is a really good candidate for players that are in this range of, there are tour players with i240 in the bag, but I think it also works for, low handicap players that want a little bit of something stable, but still enough spin, a little bit of height, a little bit of launch for them as well.
Well, that's the benefit of kind of coming in for a use fitting with us too. Yeah. We just found an iron here, which is, I think we've got these at $600 right now. And dispersion was tighter, carry distance, our carry deviation was tighter. Yeah. So if we're looking between the 2 irons, not to say that i240 is not a great iron, because it's been a terrific iron in our lineup this year. It fits a great broad range of golfers. But if you're looking to spend a little bit less on your next set of clubs, well, we've got a great set of irons here that's still providing really good results.
Yeah, and ultimately too, trade in your current set if you're looking for something new, or a different set of irons in your bag. If you want to, have a more budget-friendly option that still performs really well, you have i210. You have i240s. However, if you're looking for something brand new that's going to, last a little bit longer, but also is going to spin a little bit higher, you get a really good performance benefit there from i240. So Harrison, thank you for this head-to-head here. We see why i210 still performs well in 2025, but we also saw why i240 has been so popular in fittings too. So
I might be doing a used fitting for myself.
You might be.